wonderful than the birth of a child. Having a family is a lifelong dream for many couples, but unfortunately for some, that dream remains elusive when they're having troubles conceiving. Fortunately, through advances in technology and medicine, there is hope. And today we're visiting a place that not only provides hope, but helps make that dream come true. Hi, I'm Janice Marie for Close Up on America's Business, and today we're visiting East Coast Fertility, Long Island's premier in vitro fertilization center, where last year alone over 400 babies were conceived. I had an opportunity today to talk with their amazingly talented team of specialists to find out more.
East Coast Fertility is an IVF program, a fertility program that helps couples achieve their dream of building a family. We do this through various infertility treatments, which vary from fertility medications, intrauterine inseminations, fertility surgery, and of course our specialty of in vitro fertilization. And what I want to add, though, it's rare that we ever have a patient who can't go through IVF because of not being able to afford it.
We make it our personal goal to make sure that we show the patients every option that's available to them, whether it be financing. We take care of all their insurance needs. We do all the legwork for them. Other opportunities that are available to assist our patients as they navigate through this process is various studies that we're conducting that can help and give them reimbursement at the end of their cycle. We have different grants that are available to us that we can make available to the patients. All of these can help them relieve the financial burden.
When a patient comes to our office, we will review in detail their medical history, their fertility history, what treatments they've already gone through. We'll do an examination, including an ultrasound of the woman's pelvis, ovaries, and uterus. And we make a determination of the different options that we have available that are most likely to achieve success for that couple, so that when it comes time to do a procedure on a patient, we feel personally invested in the outcome, that we care how the patient's going to do because we have a relationship, we formed a bond.
We went to quite a few places to start this whole journey that we wanted to embark on, but we didn't feel comfortable. Someone at work recommended that we try Dr. Kreiner. We didn't know that he was part of East Coast Fertility at the time. So we came in for our consultation. Immediately we felt like this was the right place. We did not get the same feeling that we got going to all the others.
Indeed.
So we started with him. We told him exactly what we wanted. And we started going. There was no hesitation. There was no.
That's right.
There was no stopping and starting with him. Once you decide what you want to do, it's
you're on the way.
You just got to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, you have to commit yourself to it. It's time consuming, but the end result is as fulfilling as it gets. It tells its own story.
One thing that I can recommend is that if you're going to do this, you must stick with it. There's a lot of ups and downs, sometimes more downs than ups, but you got to pick yourself up and you got to keep going.
Keep your goal in mind, you know.
Keep your eye on the prize.
And that you keep in your mind that your family is at stake. So
no matter what, keep going.
By the time our patients come to our office, they're at a very emotional stage. Usually they've been trying for several months, sometimes a couple of years, and sometimes even longer in trying to conceive, and they haven't gotten to that point. That's why they come in. And it's exciting in the sense that there's an opportunity that you can try to help them achieve what they're trying to achieve, is to start a family. But at the same time, it is emotional, and you don't want to give anybody a sense of false hope. You just want to you want to put things into perspective, because while you're giving them hope, it's not going to work for everybody. What I try to get through during either that first visit or earlier in the visit is try to give them a realistic expectation, to be cautiously optimistic. The whole process involves different steps, or several steps. First, it begins with a physician. There's also the staff, the nurses. And then whether they go through insemination or IVF, then you have the embryology lab. And there's a lot of stuff done in the embryology lab as well. that are keys to for a successful IVF process.
The embryologist will be in the room with the physician. The physician uses a needle attached to an ultrasound machine and will actually aspirate the follicle which has the egg in it. So once we find the egg, it's really in our hands from that point forward. And then it's removed from there at the end of the case, and it's put into some other culture medium and then put in an incubator. It'll be inseminated. And there's a couple of things we can do. We can actually inject the egg with one sperm. We can also inseminate the egg, which we will do either by injecting it, as I said, or just placing sperm in a petri dish. And then usually it'll just remain incubated in the incubator overnight. The next day we'll look at the egg, and we'll have to remove some of the surrounding cells and really assess whether or not it fertilized normally. So we're trying to really maximize the embryo that's going to be transferred back into the uterus.
Well, the technology that goes behind fertility care is relatively recent in history, and it's really amazing that we're able to provide that sort of care for patients so that they can family build, basically. Couples who weren't able to have children before are now given that opportunity, and it's really a wonderful thing, and we realize how special that is and valuable it is. Because it's our field is always evolving, all of the physicians go to all of the annual meetings and read all of the latest journals and try to keep on top of the latest advances in our field. And it's very important because big breakthroughs are made every few months or years. And so now couples who weren't able to get pregnant before because of blocked fallopian tubes or severe male factor issues, to give you an example, are able to conceive right now.
I'm the product of in vitro fertilization, and although I know I'm a regular kid, it's great knowing that my parents tried for so long and it was a really hard struggle, and after all that time they were able to have children and they didn't think they could. And it was great because I have a younger sister and brother, and after they had me through in vitro fertilization, they were actually able to have them naturally. So, and we have a great family and we're really happy, and I'm really glad to be here.
Success rates in vitro fertilization is very dependent on the patient's age and patient's problem. But age alone is the single most influential factor. So we like to talk in terms of success rates at a certain age level. For instance, in our program under age 35, for the most recent year that we have births, that would be 2005, we had a 62% live birth rate per retrieval. That means patients who go through a stimulation cycle, have the eggs removed, 62% of them had a baby as a result of that process.
What happens if a procedure is not successful? Do you just try and try and try again?
When our patients are unsuccessful with their first transfer, first we see if they have any good quality frozen embryos available for another try. If they have embryos that are frozen from the first attempt, then without any of the stimulation medications, without going through all the injections, we can give them another embryo transfer, and our pregnancy rates with these frozen embryo transfers has been better than 50%, including all patients. When we don't have any frozen embryos, we'll very closely examine the results of their stimulation and their embryos. The physicians will discuss this case in a conference that we have with the embryologists and collectively determine the most appropriate modification of the stimulation and procedures that are done in the laboratory.
The patients, they know that there's a point that comes that says, like, how many times am I going to do something like this? And they have to sit with the doctor. And the most important thing that my staff can do for these patients is the hand-holding. We cry with our patients, we laugh with them, we hope every patient comes out of here a success, and there are some that don't. But it's the answering of the questions, it's always being there for them, and we are.
I have a very privileged job, and having a family is very important to me, and I can tell it's very important to my patients who come to me for help. And there aren't too many people who can go home and feel that they've helped couples achieve a dream of building a family. And it's very important that we do right by our patients. So no matter who a patient comes in to see, they will be very happy with their care and their physician.
With a little bit of hope, a little bit of help, and a whole lot of caring, family dreams really can come true right here at East Coast Fertility. Reporting for Close Up on America's Business, I'm Janice Marie.